And my advice, genuine to you guys, my genuine advice to you guys is that to go to school. Go to school. Contrary to popular belief, I know there's a lot of people that tell you that going to school is a waste of time, and you know you're not even gonna be guaranteed a job. You're not gonna, I hear all those chats, I understand all those chats, but for you to not go to school is just one of the most illogical, unrealistic things you can do for yourself for the future. You're genuinely setting yourself up for failure. Let me help you understand why. School, contrary to popular belief, is actually a place in which you can just get general information on what's happening around the world. To give you an example, a subject like geography or maybe life orientation, that's going to teach you more about yourself, the mind, etc., etc., etc. Subjects like geography, where I've never been to a farm, I've never worked on a farm, but I understand the logistics, I understand how you can farm, not because I'm even partially interested in the industry, but simply because I did geography. I understand weather cycles, patterns, regions, how the continent is shaped. How does that affect me as a human being? Where am I, and how does that affect certain aspects of whatever it is that I need to understand? So going to school gave me a general understanding of life, that if one day I did not want to finish off school, maybe I got to matric and I said I want to go to university, because I went to school, because I had general understanding of most subjects, and I'm talking passing, general understanding, which is 50 to 60% upwards. If you have that much understanding of a subject, you are in a position where you're able to understand not only what you can do with the information, but how you can use that information possibly in the future. If you don't even know the size of your own country, if you don't even know how many people are in your country, if you don't even know what are the resources your country has, what happens in your country, what's happening around the world, if you're unable to understand those things, which takes time, which takes a lot of understanding, which takes a lot of information, which you would have gotten in high school, business studies, geography, accounting, these are all basic skills, basic principles that you need to understand, because when you come out into the real world one day, you're going to want to start a company, you're going to want to start a business, you're going to be trying to make money. The rules of money, guys, you need to understand that the rules of money don't care what your uncles and aunties told you. The rules of making money don't care whether you believe that you didn't need school or not. The information is the information. It's either you have that information or you don't. Finished. So for a person who doesn't go to school, what usually happens most of the time is that you get a mentor. This would even be conscious or subconscious. You have someone that you look up to, someone that you listen to, and because you are looking up to this person and following this person around, all the information that they give you is what you then have to rely on as your sustainability, as what's going to drive your future. Some individuals' ideas, some individuals' thoughts, which could be biased, which could be wrong, are now what's going to guide you. Not facts, not general understanding of what's actually happening. Someone's understanding is now your mode of survival. Someone's TikTok, understanding of the world. Someone's, failed businessman now on the side of the road trying to fix his situation is now your mentor. Someone's partially almost dead business guy who's claiming to still be, pushing his work. That's now your mentor. So for me, school is important, not because school's gonna get you a nice job, but because when you finally do decide to do your own thing, you want to know what's happening in the world before you start doing your own thing. It's not as easy as just getting out there and all of a sudden the information of how accounting works, how business works, how money works is now all of a sudden gonna pop into your head, and now you're gonna try and make yourself survive in an economy where you can already see things are difficult for the regular person. If things are difficult for the regular person, they'll be